Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and today, for a month or so of Dino, we're going to be taking a first impressions look at Carnivores, the original Carnivores, which I've actually put off looking at before because it's a bit of a pain to get it running on a modern system. There's all kinds of really weird bugs. But this is a dinosaur hunting game made by Ukrainian developer Action Forms, who also developed both Cryostasis, Sleep of Reason, and Vivisector, Beast Within, which are both games that I've LP'd previously. Those are pretty much the only two games they've made that weren't Carnivores. Otherwise, they pretty much just made this series and remade it. Now, I wasn't originally sure if I should do a video on the first Carnivores, because the second one is kind of the one that everybody knows, and it's the one that has all the mods for it. The first game is basically the second game, but with a lot less features. Less dinosaurs, less weapons, less maps. However, I do think it's worth looking at the original game because they remade this, so I wanted to take a look at the original before also checking out the remake, though we'll probably do Carnivores 2, and maybe Ice Age if I can get that working, even though that doesn't really have any dinosaurs in it. But before we actually get in here, let's take a look at the story setup from, I believe, the manual. I'm not actually sure if this game had a manual, or if this just came with the README that the game installed with. On a routine exploration mission in 2190 AD, the science vessel FMM UV discovered a planet with suitable climate for humankind. During the initial scouting expedition, this young planet, codenamed FMM UV-32, was declared inhospitable for colony life due to its unstable terrain and immense population of prehistoric reptiles. News of this amazing planet spread, and articles on the Dinosaur Planet led an Earth corporation to purchase the rights to the planet and create DinoHunt Corp. DinoHunt creates the opportunity for paying customers to become dinosaur hunters for the first time in 50 million years. You are the newest client of DinoHunt Corp. So yes, we are just some wealthy, shitty trophy hunter who has come to this planet of seemingly Earth dinosaurs reborn to get himself some skulls. But, you know, this came out not long after stuff like the original Deer Hunter game, so it was a genre that had only recently established itself, and this is the only one that let you hunt dinosaurs. Also, fun little thing for those who are wearing headphones here, notice the audio channels follow the mouse, so if I go here, you only get, like, the right ear, and if I go here, you only get the left ear. I have no idea why it does this, and it's only on the menu. I think this might be some weird modern-day thing going on. So let's get in here. So this game doesn't have a story or anything. It is very literally a dinosaur hunting game. You go into various levels, you hunt down dinosaurs, and you get points. And you get enough points, you will rank up to a higher rank, which will eventually unlock access to the rest of the dinosaurs and levels. The second game, instead of going with a score, went with a credit system, but I think it works the same in that you just kind of build up a pile of credits by hunting dinosaurs until you can hunt better ones. So let's see. We have the woods of Turan Chalks. We have the Great Lake, the pyramids of Shmu Hadron, but that's for advanced hunters, so we're not a high enough rank to hunt there yet. And for expert hunters, which is also the Great Lake. Wait, did they not go in order? Oh, I went backwards last time. So yeah, we have 6 areas, and only 3 of them are unlocked from the beginning. And then we can choose our target, which you can actually look at the target zone, and that is important as they won't really drop if you hit them elsewhere. So again, it is very much an actual hunting sim kind of game. We have a Parasaurolophus, we have a Pachycephalosaurus, which looks very interesting. We have Stegosaurus. Again, very interesting. They have a lot of weird faces, and I think it's because they're based off of a specific paleo artist style, but I forget which one. Do we also have to shoot this one in the waist? Nope, just the head. We have an Allosaurus, which is a very scrawny little boy. Triceratops, but that's for advanced hunters. We have Velociraptor, also for advanced hunters, and for some reason weighs 1.5 tons. Very large Velociraptor, even more so than Jurassic Park. And then we have the Tyrannosaurus, which is a very chunky boy. So yeah, those are all the dinosaurs in the game. Or rather, those are all the dinosaurs you can hunt in the game. I think there are a few other species, like moss chops, that are not actually huntable. They're just ambient wildlife. And you can see that there is some kind of pteranodon there too, which you can't hunt. I don't think there are a lot of mods for the first game, but let's go with... I've loaded up this map a bunch of times, so I'm not going to load that one. Let's go with the second one. Map is a good challenge for beginning hunters. The exact origin of this island remains a mystery. Its unique topography of deserts, mountains, and lakes make for a challenging area to hunt in. High hills can be a great place to perch and wait or hide a dinosaur from sight. And we're going to go with the pachycephalosaurus. Alright, and now our gear. So, you don't have a lot of options here. You have a shotgun, you have an X-bow, which is just a fancy double crossbow, and you have the sniper rifle, which you have to rank up to use. And that's about it. Those are your only options. So the target area for this weapon is the center of the sighting cycle. Although powerful, aim your shot well, and the shotgun will scare plant eaters, causing them to scatter, but the noise will alert dangerous carnivores. It's also worth mentioning that this game does not have a health system. If something comes up and attacks you, you die instantly, so you gotta watch out for the silent carnivores that will sneak up and devour you. We can also add tranquilizer to it, which will, you can see, increase our points by 25%. So that is good if you want to rank up faster. And then we have a cover scent, camouflage, and radar, and all of these will decrease your score. So you probably don't want to use those, at least until you're hunting more valuable stuff. Scent mask is important though, because there is a wind system, so if we're upwind from our target, they'll probably just run away, unless they're a carnivore. I don't know if we want the bow or the shotgun. The bow is stealthier, but I think it doesn't have as much range. I mean, we have a shotgun as our alternative, so I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a range category. All right, let's get in here. Okay, it didn't crash, and it's in full screen. So one of the challenges in this game was getting it to render in full screen, which required... Wow, is that the sound that Mactera grabbers make? In Deep Rock Galactic? That's like exactly the sound. Immediately I was like looking around like it's going to come at me. But yeah, so normally this game will render in 4:3, and there is no way to force widescreen in the default game. I have to use DG Voodoo too. Oh, the sound will also get messed up sometimes. I don't really know how to fix that. It just happens. I might have to change the audio render, but yeah. So, as far as I can tell, there's no penalty for just leaving at any time. You can hit escape, and it will teleport you out. I don't know if maybe you lose score if you die, but basically we just have to find our target, shoot it, and then leave. And the good folks at DinoHunt Corp will, I guess, come down and pick up the body for us. So we have Dimorphodons flying around. I believe that's what those are supposed to be. We have moss chops walking around. They're very non-threatening, and also are not dinosaurs, but are synapsids. So it seems like the creatures on this planet do not come from a specific Earth time, but rather all sorts of different timelines. And then people have made mods that essentially add, like, Triassic areas and whatnot, you know, specifically populated by Triassic species. Okay, there's our target. There is a Parasaurolophus. But it detected us, so it ran away. I hear a T-Rex or something, so we do have to watch out for getting eaten. So make sure we have the appropriate call. Alright, so we know it's that direction, and we are angled good for the wind, so it's not going to be detecting us from there, I think. Unless I'm looking at this windage thing backwards, but I'm pretty sure this means right now that the wind is blowing south-ish and fairly strongly, but maybe it's the opposite. I can't tell. God, that sound is going to spook me every time. Because, yeah, when a Mactera grabber in Deep Rock Galactic is coming at you, it basically makes that sound in the distance, and you're like, oh shit, where's it coming from? So we can sneak as well, which I think we're going to need to do. He's still spooked, though, and I don't know why. I don't know how far they can see us from. There is actually a slider you can set for sensitivity, but I don't know exactly what their senses are and what that affects. I should also point out that this came out the same year as Trespasser, so you can kind of compare the graphics between that and this. Though, I think that had a bigger budget. Oh, there's another Parasaurolophus there, which has not detected us. Now it has? I don't know how you sneak up on a Parasaurolophus. I don't know why that spooked the moss chops. There's another one. Maybe if I get kind of behind this hill, I can sneak up on it. See, like, I think that spooked it as well. This one can't see us, so I think we're going to sneak up, hop around the hill, and shoot him in the head. I think this game is fairly grindy, though, so you will have to hunt the same things a bunch of times to unlock new ones. But at least we're not locked to only one dinosaur at the start. It does seem a little simple, though, because, like, we don't really have a lot of options for tracking these things or for taking them down without being detected. There's no tracks for us to follow, no markings, you know, no scat. All the things that other hunting games tend to have. Okay, he's not here anymore. That means he must have booked it as well. Well, still one around this hill. And one that sounds like it's across the ocean. I think all of the maps are islands to some degree, which I guess would make sense for a somewhat safer hunting environment. But yeah, like, I'm crouching. Well, we're kind of walking with the wind now, so I don't know if we're going to be able to sneak up on these guys. But I don't really know the smart ways to do this otherwise. I don't know if I should take a shot on these guys from, like, the edge of draw distance. I also don't know if that's ambient background noise or if that actually indicates there's a predator there. These are weird little cactus-y things. Crap. These guys are downwind. Also, I'm not entirely sure how reliable the directional audio is. So, if it's not great, I might get horribly lost trying to follow these sounds. But yeah, I guess that's all we can do. Like, we just follow the sound, because there's no other tools at our disposal for tracking. Well, there's a radar I guess we could have taken. I would imagine that early on you do want to take the tools, even though you lose points for it, just to get used to the behaviors of the creatures you're hunting. We also have binoculars, I think. Maybe that's only the sequel. Oh, there's a raptor or something sneaking around. We will have to kill it if it comes at us. Like, there's no other way to not die from that. And I don't think there's any penalty for killing non-targets. You just don't get anything for it. Can make me kind of paranoid, though. I don't know how stocky he is. We can also sprint, but as far as I can tell, that's a bad idea always. Okay, I don't think he's following us. Sounds like there's 2 or 3 of them in this direction. But once you play enough of this, I assume you'd start to be able to actually, you know, remember all the calls, so you can track them just by their audio, without even needing to use your own. I also don't know if carnivores will go after herbivores, naturally. You spooked me, little fella. I like how they walk up to you and then run away. There are a lot of those moss chops around. Okay, those are coming from behind me now. I'm hoping there's still some in this direction, though. There's at least one coming from over here. Thankfully, we don't have to hunt a specific one. Any Parasaurolophus will do. This is kind of a weird trio of mountains surrounded by water. I guess the problem is, if they can detect us from the very edge of the draw distance here, it's going to be very hard to even know where I should be sneaking to not run into them. However, I don't think they're actually that fast, so if we can kind of corner them against like a mountain or the water, I think you can just shoot them without having to like sneak up on them. I don't think there's any kind of like stealth damage, you know, like some hunting games do that, where suddenly bullets are less harmful if they know you're coming. I hear big footsteps ahead. And I see a shadow behind there, so I think that might be a para. That is trying to run away from me, but stuck in a mountain. Yep, there's the crest. Just gonna pop him in the back of the head. Alright.
Trophy coordinates received.
I don't know why the the text is like slightly offset from the outline. 1.97 tons, 6.65 meters. Score 6? Is it because I got too close? I mean, it's a shotgun. Not like I'm going to take him from far away.
Getting trophy aboard.
Yeah, so they come down and they abduct your trophy for you.
The trophy area.
Presumably DinoHunt Corp operates out of like a satellite space station orbiting the planet. Also, I don't think you run out of ammo. I think every time you pull it out, you have more ammo. So I'm not 100% sure. Did I start with 6 shells or 5? So I think, though, whether there's ammo or not, we can continue hunting and hunt some more paras, as long as we can find them. But yeah, I can see why the second game is perhaps the more well-remembered and still well-supported game in the series, because this one is very basic. In the past, the only Carnivores game I've covered on my channel was Carnivores Cityscape, which was actually the only one that's not a hunting game, but is instead a bizarre and much more straightforward FPS game with levels and everything. We might go back to that at some point, though. I'm kind of curious about it, even though it's not very well regarded. I also thought that Action Forms had made Shark Hunting the Great White, which is another game that I've looked at before. Uh-oh. I just don't want him to come after me, so I have to take him down. Alright, let's test. Nope, you do not get more ammo back, so... What you come in with is all you have. And then we got 8. Time to leave. Don't mind the audio. Again, gonna be fucked for a second. So let's see, my score is still 0, so I assume if you die, you lose whatever trophies you got on that hunt. let's go for a stegosaur. And let's take the X-bow. Maybe let's take the cover scent for now. Since I'm not good enough to be able to sneak up on them otherwise. So this thing is in every Carnivores game as far as I can tell. I assume it's good if they kept bringing it back, but I don't know how much kind of drop it has. I mean, it says that those two sight posts on the front are, I think, 40 meters and 80 meters. So it should have decent range. Alright, we're hunting for a stegosaur. No response that time. Gallimimus over there. Oh, there's a stegosaur right there. Could it be that we get our early target and it doesn't just fucking immediately run away? I don't know if the call will spook it from up close or if it will attract it. I feel like I should read up on those mechanics before we go into Carnivores 2 so that I can actually have a better idea. I might check out some of the mods as well if Carnivores 2 works, because there are a couple interesting ones that are fairly well done, including more than one Jurassic Park mod. Okay, I think he ran away. I don't know how he made it over this hill. I can kind of make it over. Need to get a vantage point, though, so I can see where he went. Looks like it's coming from over here. I like how the stegosaurus sound specifically clips every time. Okay, turn run mode back off. I mean, the way that the wind indicator stretches out like that makes me think that it actually is the direction it's stretching towards. That makes more logical sense to me. I'm not 100% sure. Also kind of funny that sneaking up on your target seems to be worth less points than, you know, sniping them from afar. He's a very large fella. Don't tell me he got over that lip. Man, he really booked it. I think he's behind that ridge there, though. So I'm sure there's going to be some folks watching this that are very familiar with Carnivores that can tell me what I did wrong, and maybe you'll even be able to do that before I play the next one, because I'm not really sure yet the ideal way to hunt. I would think that crouching all the time is a good idea. You know, they won't see you coming if you're crouching. But I don't know if I should, like, hide in a bush, if that affects your visibility at all. Looks like a desert over here. Okay, I think he went this way. Which means I want to kind of sidestep so the wind is definitely not giving us away. Even though I have the scent marker, or scent cover. Yeah, I think he scented me there. So, he shouldn't smell me as easily. Which maybe that just affects the angle that the scent will give you away. You know, so it's only kind of straight on will give you away instead of to the sides of that as well. And I should mention, too, that I don't have the sensitivity turned up all the way, I think. I'm pretty sure I don't. So I'm not sure why they're so good at detecting me. Okay, this is perfect right here. I just got to get him to look towards me. Oh, there's two of them. Just got to get him to look towards me so I can pop him in the head. I think we want to use the bottom sight post for this distance. We're fairly close. Got one. Apparently that was also only worth 5 goddamn points. I think you need like 100 to get to the next rank. Gah, turn. Alright, well if I wounded him, he should be leaving a little bit of a blood trail. But it looks like I didn't really hit him with anything harmful.
Getting trophy aboard.
I didn't even get to look at my trophy.
Moving to the trophy area.
And I think there is specifically a trophy area where they dump all of your biggest dinosaurs. We'll check that out before we wrap up. That's its own little map. Okay, he's still over here. See if we can get a second one before we run out of bolts. And then actually extract without getting eaten. I mean, to be fair, the last one was my fault entirely. I could have just walked away from that guy while he was stuck, instead of agitating him. No response. Let's sneak up on this Gallimimus. He wasn't one of our available targets, was he? There's also the ocean, and I think you can go in the ocean. But I'm not sure if there are aquatic creatures in any of the Carnivores games. There must be, because I know one of the Trespasser maps had some little creature taken from one of the Carnivores games. Maybe Cityscape has underwater enemies. There's also another game they made, Primal Prey, which is basically just carnivores, but with less features. And instead of it being a dinosaur planet, it's just more typical time travel hunting. But I'm not really sure why they made that, and why it's not called Carnivores, but it sounds like it's not very well regarded. It's just like a weird spin-off. Alright, well, let's evacuate. Also, you can see that you can't just leave on a dime. So if something's about to kill you, you can't just book it out of there. Okay, so yeah, we got 5 points for that. I don't think it tells you how much you need to rank up. You just eventually, it'll say advanced or whatever. Let's check out the trophy room. Okay. It's just a weird little temple-looking thing. And I guess there's a spot for each of your trophies. Until it gets full. Because there's definitely not this many species in the game. There he is. Killed with the X-bow at 51.8 meters. 8.59 meters. 10.64 tons. Alright, so I don't think there's much else to see right now, but let's try one more map. Let's check out the jungles of Gravitsapa. A fantastic area for beginning hunters. Lava-filled cracks show prior seismic activity on this island. The tropical jungles on the rest of the island are teeming with dinosaurs, hiding in the ground mists or around rolling hills. Let's try an Allosaur. which might have been what killed us, even though it did like a jump attack. So, head, neck, spine. Any of those will kill it. I wonder if tranquilizing is harder to do than killing them. Because otherwise, what's the downside? Okay, fairly straightforward jungle map with one big sandy area. So, yeah, if we use a call, I believe they will just fucking come at me. So, sometimes in this game, because you spawn at a completely random spot, you will spawn directly next to a brutal carnivore and get murdered immediately, and that's just the normal part of the gameplay. But I mean, I guess nothing lost. Yeah, see, now we're all the way up here. What I was going to say, though, is I'm pretty sure calls will actually bring carnivores towards us rather than have them run away or stay where they are. I mean, at least we don't have to chase it down. Oh. There's the audio bug again. I don't think that's fixable either when that happens. You just have to restart the mission. And that's a result of this being a old-ass game with old-ass audio. And I think I'm already using something called an audio fix, so it's either no audio or audio that'll break sometimes. So, these first three maps don't really look that distinctly different. You know, these are not very dense jungles on these islands, and I don't think that changes for the advanced maps. I think they're all pretty sparse like this, because Trespasser was pretty revolutionary in the amount of foliage it had, and it really didn't have that much in the retail maps, so by comparison, you have to make some compromises with like the short draw distance and everything that this game has. And I think I have the draw distance turned all the way up. It's just even worse than that if you turn it down. Seems like it's pretty difficult to take down a charging predator in this, though. Like, if you miss, this thing takes about 5 seconds to reload. Or to load the next shot. The only thing that'll save you is that the dinosaurs have kind of bad pathfinding, so you saw him, like, do a loop around me before he actually found me last time. But if it really is 100 to get to the next rank, that's still, you know, somewhere between, like, say, 5 and 10 points. Probably more 5 or 6 for most of them. It's gonna take you, like, 20 hunts before you unlock anything new, if you do well. But I guess if you manage to kill more than one of your target in a single mission, then that'll go faster. I don't know how sensitive this directional audio is. That's why I'm trying not to move at all. Is that our target? The binoculars in the second game. Oh, yeah, that is definitely our target. Oh, God, there's 2 of them. God damn it. They work in pairs. I never would have guessed. Alright, well, I guess that's really all there is to show for carnivores. You know, you'd have to really get into the grind in order to unlock anything else, but I'm wondering how this will compare to the remake, if the remake is going to be as feature sparse as this first game. I think we will check out the second game, because I think I've got it set up correctly. It's a weird thing where sometimes I'll launch it and it won't go to full screen anymore, even though I haven't changed anything, and I just have to like reset all the settings. But I think I've got it to mostly work. So, thank you for joining me on these hunts, and I will see you for some more dino hunting in the future. But until then, you folks all take care.